My name is Tom Greifon. I'm with ILoca Services. ILoca is a premier trailer dealership and we represent Fontaine Specialized. Fontaine Specialized is basically Fontaine Heavy Haul, but they've offered a lot more product lines in that category. And I want to give you a walk around on one of the more popular trailers, which is the mechanical double drop, which is also called the Fontaine Renegade 18. The 18 stands for 18-inch loaded deck height with a 6-inch ground clearance. That's a pretty low deck height for a trailer like this. A lot of times you'll see them at 22 inches. That doesn't really change the rating, but it's the design that Fontaine does on this one that they can still maintain a 40-ton rating and 16 feet with the addition of adding a flip axle to the trailer for weight distribution. But this trailer truly is a workhorse. It has a 29-foot lower deck, which allows you to put larger objects on it. And with an 18-inch ground clearance, it allows you to put taller objects on it. So oversized loads is usually what this trailer is used for, and that's usually something that drivers and companies can take advantage of, making a lot more money because of the specialized freight. So with the Fontaine Renegade 18, it's a mechanical removable neck, so there's no hydraulics assisted. The driver will have to manipulate getting the neck off of the trailer. First time is usually the charm. After that, it becomes a little bit easier. And if you would like the professional way of removing this and installing it back on, can be reviewed by this link below, which is an operational instructional video from Fontaine on how drivers and operate removing this neck. This trailer is usually intended to be used to have something put on it, and it runs a long way down the road. For frequent loading and unloading of the trailer, like multiple times a day, this neck can be cumbersome to do that with. So a hydraulic version of this trailer would be probably the better choice, assuming you wanted ease of neck removal and frequency of neck removal, just so that you don't fatigue out your drivers, and it's fun to operate the hydraulics on the hydraulic ones. This trailer is going to come with a series of outriggers. These 14-inch outriggers will swing out and allow customers to put on wider loads. So you can gain another 28 inches wide. You would be in an oversized position with that, but it does allow you to get larger pieces of equipment on. There is an ag version of this trailer, which would have aluminum pullout. So for applications on the farm where you're going to have these big pieces of equipment and you need a bigger, wider trailer, the ag trailer would be the better choice. But that is something that is also offered. Along the deck of this trailer, which again is a 29-foot clearance, or length I should say, clear and free, you have the chain slots along the side rail for cargo securement. You'll also have the D-rings, which can also be used for securement. So there's a lot of securement points on this trailer. So again, it can handle multiple loads and various pieces of equipment depending on whatever you're contracted to do. One thing that's unique about Fontaine is the quality of the trailers is consistent. Also, these trailers are truly rated for what they're made for. They are actually overmade in the event that customers have a tendency of pushing the loads a little bit heavier than they're designed for. But the good thing about Fontaine, not only will they handle it, but they have replacement parts that are consistent and that ILoca stocks, so that in the event you ever need something for your trailer, minimizing downtime, because ILoca has a parts inventory, a service department, and an excellent reputation with Fontaine, we can try to keep your product up and running and supplement it too in the event that you needed to with a rental trailer while your equipment might be down. But that's something that goes along with the whole ILoca experience, not just having Fontaine trailers. When ILoca orders these Renegades, a lot of customers have some preferences to have some additional lighting along the trailer, which we usually include as our standard spec. And then we also bling up the trailer by including outside aluminum rims. They not only look nice, they give you a little bit of weight advantage. And then these trailers are going to be built on semi-fluid grease hubs. So there's no oil baths in them. So very less likely to have to do any maintenance and service on the wheel ends, just simply because they're hermetically sealed from the factory. And maintenance should only be done as far as inspections and so forth. Any warranty stuff should go through Hendrickson in the event that you'd want any kind of coverage on the wheel ends. But of course, ILoca Service Department can always help with anything needed on the trailer, as they've got a very good history with working on these and maintaining them. Another standard thing on the Fontaine trailers, so that you prevent damage to the airbags and the shock absorbers, is there's an air dump valve here, which you would use before you unload the trailer, so that when it gets unweighted, it doesn't spring up and rip the shocks out. So that's a nice feature, because some guys don't know about that until it happens. Other guys will install chains, shock straps to limit that from happening. But this is a foolproof way by just dumping the air out of the trailer, and you know you won't have any surprises when the weight comes off of it. Additionally, this trailer can have a third axle put on. It's currently a tandem axle, but if you needed to put another axle on for weight distribution, it doesn't increase the capacity of the trailer. It just helps with bridge laws or state laws that you might have to abide by depending on what you're hauling. Also, this will have a strobe package on it, so that if you do have an oversized load, you can turn those things on. You can put your oversized flags in the flag holders. You can get your strobes going. Obviously a flip axle if the load's heavy enough to justify that. But everything you should need in order to haul anything heavy and oversized, this is the workhorse of the fleet.